Hi, this is Raven from Raven Black.
Hey, this is Landfill from Municipal Waste, Iron Reagan, Cannabis Corpse, and Morbicon.
This is Dallas from Narcotic Wasteland.
Hey, this is Danny Rodriguez from Through the Eyes of the Dead.
Hey, this is Steve from 200 Stab Wounds, and you're listening to the Great Metal Debate Podcast. Check it out.
Welcome back, listeners, to the Metal Debate Podcast, bringing you another amazing metal artist interview. Today, I'm joined by the U.S. death metal predators, Voraath. Thank you guys so much for coming on the Great Metal Debate.
Happy to be here, man. Thanks for having us.
Thank you for having us. I'm Chelsea from Voraath.
And so we're here tonight at the End in Nashville, Tennessee. Voraath's been on the road since mid-June, along with Gorgatron and Casket Robbery for this Mechanical Necrosis tour. First, how have you guys been holding up after so much time out on the road?
Well, it's been an adventure. I'm Paul, the bass player for Voraath, by the way. Like any tour, it has its peaks and valleys. You got to just be ready for anything, improvise, adapt, and overcome. And, but the shows have been rad. The fans have been rad. The turnouts have been surprisingly, just really sick. I mean, not really any complaints, man. We love to do what we do, and this is really no different. So we're definitely pleased with how it's been going so far, man, for sure.
Even tonight on Tuesday? Yeah. Tuesday night. Not too bad.
On a school night, yeah.
All the homies came out in Nashville and fucking toured up. Excuse my French.
So how did this tour come about with these bands?
Well, our management and booking agency essentially put it together.
They're like, do you want to do it? And then we were like, yes.
Yeah. So we've known Casket Robbery for a while. They're good friends of ours, so we had the opportunity to do it, and we were planning on doing it for a while, so it just made sense, And Gorgatron, we never met those guys, but man, they're just fucking champions, dude. We love those guys. This tour, everybody on the tour has been amazing, so.
I was going to say, from what I've seen on social media, it looks like you guys have a good rapport with one another, joking around, spending time at the merch booth together. How important is that on a tour like this where you're obviously day after day, night after night, spending tons of time together?
It is so important to have good energy all together. We're spending day after day together, like you said. Spending almost an entire month together can have its ups and downs, but at the end of the day, we just really give a shit about each other. We treat each other like this is brothers and sisters. We're family, and we don't want to destroy that. Yeah. We look out for each other, and I think that camaraderie is super important.
Even this evening, I saw you guys supporting the other bands, out there in the crowd, pumping your fists, banging your heads. You getting almost a little crazy out there, Chelsea.
That's my MO. I just go ham. I just can't help it.
This tour includes a lot of intimate venues, like here at the End tonight. Sure. Obviously, you guys want to play to as many fans as possible, but are there advantages as well to a place like this where there's no big, photo pit? You're able to interact directly with the fans.
I almost sometimes, depending on the application, prefer a more intimate show. You're right there down in the weeds with the fans. That intense metal energy, sweat, pouring, maybe some blood a little bit here. It's very up and in your face. The big shows have a plus too, but some about an intimate show, it just really, I don't know, I really like it.
I think it's a different way of connecting with the audience too, because like you said before, I like to get into the nitty gritty of the crowd, and even when we're playing, I like to jump in the midst of everybody and just connect with them on a different level. Like you said, being in a bigger stage with risers and things separating us, I don't get that intimacy or connection with my people as much, but we have much more room to move, and the sound usually is a lot easier to hear overall and work with.
And so you all released Voraath's debut album, Volume 1, The Hymn of the Hunters, back in June, on the eve of this tour. I got an advance copy. I think it's tremendous. Just a great amalgam of death metal. You've got some progressive elements. You've got atmospheric elements. Maybe even, am I hearing a few folk elements kind of thrown in there? Yeah. Just some experimental vibes overall. Tell me, what was the overall musical vision for that? What were you all setting out to accomplish?
Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. we wanted to make a project. We're all like really just big nerds at heart. We wanted to make something more immersive than like the average metal experience, something with like a lot of lore, some concepts behind it, storylines, stuff like that. I mean, the costumes and everything and all the songs that we play are all part of that bigger picture and story. So trying to bring that element to the fans, which they seem to enjoy. We love it too. So it's definitely something special, man. You know what I mean? It's not the average musical experience, in my opinion. So.
And you use the term musical. On some levels, it's almost like a musical. You guys you mentioned the costumes, you're going up there. It seems like even again in a small venue like this, you're somewhat trying to put on a little bit more of a spectacle versus just getting up there and playing.
Oh, absolutely. We're essentially LARPing up there. You know what I mean? we turn the switch and we get our personalities on and we just try to, make it happen as best that we can. The group works really well together too. All of our personalities just enhance what we're trying to do.
Oh yeah, I think in the future too, we're trying to grow that idea and just kind of like have battles on stage and things like that. Dude, it's gonna get bigger, and we're excited for that. We like having that more cinematic energy to our music as well. Just something that seems a lot bigger than what we are.
Well, again, I enjoy the album a lot. I really love Waypoint Orion. It takes a little time to develop, I think, but that kind of pays off at the end. Really brutal parts, and they stand in contrast to what to me is like a really nice melody underneath. What was the thought process behind that one?
Well, that one essentially kicks off the album after the instrumental. So that was basically just like our first mission in the story, and the trials and tribulations that we encounter with that. The beginning is heavy and offensive, and that's, battle, conflict kind of deal, and then the end is the conclusion of that, Try to do, just keep a movie mentality with it, sort of make it cinematic, and I think that does transfer pretty well on the record, so...
Another of my faves is Dreadborn, the intro with the keys. I think that's just killer. And again, you said cinematic. I'm almost thinking like film score kind of feel 100%. To it. I think when you're composing something, is there a mindset from the start? Are you just taking like pieces, parts here, even vocally, and just putting them together, and you're even surprised how it comes out?
I feel like there's a collaboration of all of that because we all have different writing styles and we'll come up with different riffs and kind of throw in ideas for things. But we try to stick to a storyline and try to think about like what that would sound like along the way. Like, okay, this is the experience we're creating next. What would that sound like, and what would that make you feel like, throughout the piece? But we do contribute like riffs and ideas and vocal melodies and all kinds of things like as one unit. Like everyone contributes to writing.
I don't want to put words in your mouth, but it almost sounds like you're alluding to the fact that you're storytellers in a way.
Absolutely. Yep.
I would say the story like comes first, and then we sort of write the music around it. Making sure that it's still entertaining and tough and metal, but like still transfers like the message and what story we're trying to tell at the same time. So it's a package deal, but we enjoy doing it, man. So.
And when you guys are playing these songs live, obviously you've got some backing stuff going on there. Is there any room for innovation and doing things a little crazy on stage, or are you somewhat limited to what you can do within the confines of structure?
It comes in fragments, and we have to almost coordinate or choreography, like where we are going to be a little bit more aggressive feeling, and what requires more emotion in a different way. So we have to kind of be mindful of which segments we're on for those reasons. Sometimes I get a little too excited, and I'm just like, I'm going to be aggressive the whole time. Wait, we're at a soft spot. Never mind.
No, it can't go too rogue, I guess, is the way you say it.
No.
And as far as that visual presentation that we've alluded to before, I think it's really cool just how there's obviously the sci-fi vibe that we're getting from you guys on stage. I want to ask the obvious question I haven't heard anyone else ask. Like, do you have any trouble seeing up there? And have you had any mishaps on stage because of your stage wear and visors? users?
Sometimes I think I can see pretty well throughout it. It really depends on the lighting and what's coming through, because different lightings, such as strobes and stuff, cause a more reflective and foggy kind of feeling in the mask. So that's when it becomes a little bit harder. Some venues are just really dark and have really crap lighting, and that's when it becomes hard. But I think you're going to have a hard time seeing regardless. But,
for sure.
But we've definitely had moments where we're like tripping over stuff and like falling all over ourselves.
The masks are surprisingly easier to see than it seems.
Yeah.
They're essentially like modified fencing masks, so it's like just a bug eye kind of thing. So you still have a pretty good peripheral, but you definitely have to know what you're doing there. You don't really have much room for error or wiggle room, you know. It gets a little hotter in there too, but hey, that's showbiz.
Yeah, it's not so hard to breathe through it. I think the thing that I struggle with mine the most is just because it doesn't fit my head. My head's a little small, and I try to tighten it as much as I can, and it just flops around anyway. But I work with what I got.
Well, it's impressive. I love it. I mean, I think you guys, you bring something extra to that performance that, from a fan's perspective, is just, I mean, I can't wait to see you guys again. See you guys do it again.
We'll definitely be back in Nashville. We got invited to go to, I think it's like Tennessee Devastation Festival or something like that.
Later in the year.
We've gotten like 2 or 3 invites to apply, so hopefully we can like hop on one of those. If not this year, maybe next year. So we're excited to be back here. I lived here for about 2 years, and I, made my little circle of friends and stuff. So it was really cool to see everyone come out.
That's pretty cool. Now, obviously, the album hasn't been out even a month, but so far, how pleased are you as far as the response from fans and critics?
So far, it's been super positive. We've had a little bit of critiques here and there, but nothing spiteful or like super negative. Like, everyone has loved how different it is, like everybody's trying to guess like who's singing what, and it's just been, I don't know, it's been an adventure just receiving the feedback from that.
It's definitely been pretty positive for sure. I mean, you're always going to get people that have difference of opinions, art's subjective and stuff like that, but even the stuff that we've seen, it's just minor, like, critic type stuff that you would do in a write-up. I mean, I personally feel I'm super happy with the album. One of the coolest pieces of music that I've been a part of, and especially with this band too. And I think that does transfer pretty well. But I mean, you're always going to have some haters, If you don't have haters, you're not doing it right, I guess, right? You get more eyes, you got more people and their opinions. So, and
sometimes even a negative response, it's good to get a response. Feedback is always
publicity.
That's funny you say that. So on this tour, in what was that date?
It was the second date of the tour. It was in Rapid City. Where's that?
It was in the Dakotas, I think? Yeah, okay. So we had a little debacle with a promoter, and that kind of just blew up, poorly.
Yeah.
He, I don't know what the situation was, but it just didn't work out. And I guess Metal Injection picked up the dispute, and it tripled, quadrupled our eyes and visibility. So it kind of was a blessing in disguise. So
I originally made a post, and it was just like, because I saw that this guy was doing the same thing to other metal bands in particular, and I usually don't post things like that. I don't like causing drama to myself at all, but I was like, I'm seeing this happen to my friends. This is not cool, and I posted it, and then it got like 300 shares, and then Metal Injection found it and reshared it on their website, and I was just like, oh my god, what did I do? But it was the best thing we could have done, because we got so many veggie trays, and it was great.
I was gonna say, our riders after that, they've definitely brought the veggie tray every time for sure. So we've eaten well as a byproduct.
I don't see you guys as being the sort who are demanding caviar and champagne on your.
We're very simple, but
water's nice, snacks is cool, but it doesn't always happen, and we don't expect it, and that's the thing too. Is like, we had all of our gear. He thought that we didn't, and then he thought we were asking for like really just I guess fancy stuff, and I was like, vegetables aren't fancy. I guess they could be, but
It just,
Seemed like the guy had other issues besides with you guys. Like maybe this has been building up with some. Yeah.
well, like Chelsea was saying, there's multiple other bands that happen too as well. So
all metal bands.
you know, you smell smoke, there's usually a fire somewhere. So I think we made the best out of a crappy situation for sure. And if he's out there listening, thank you for all the publicity.
Well, you guys are getting toward the end of the tour after going for all these weeks. Are there specific things that you all would do to, like, you know, keep your mental health, keep in a positive mindset, keep physically fit? Are there things that you're doing out here on the road to ensure that?
I honestly think we're doing a pretty damn good job of like keeping that up. We built bunks in our van just so we can have a place to sleep while some people are driving, some people are hiding in the back just to kind of have some time to themselves. We'll put headphones on and do that. We even go to Planet Fitness. Some of us work out, regularly and
Multiple times a week, for sure.
multiple times a week. And, we take regular showers. We try to do as much like self-care on the road as we can, because if we're not doing that, we're going to put on a shitty performance, and we don't want that.
So beginning to wrap up with you guys, what are the band's plans following this tour with Gorgatron and Casket Robbery?
Well, we have some new material we're going to start working on. Obviously, the new album, is always on the horizon. Have something on the back burner, is be creative. Like Chelsea was saying, we got a few offers for some cool festivals. We're playing Michigan Metal Fest in August, I believe the 24th. Maybe even like a small run in October as well, too. We'll see how that transpires. But I mean, we're pretty much open to anything that, would work out well for us, essentially. I mean, sometimes you never know, but, we're here to play and have fun, and hopefully people like it. And wherever that takes us, we're there.
And so there's already material in the works then for Volume 2?
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, we've already started on it and started contributing riffs and different melody lines for it. Just creating a foundation for it. That's exactly what we're going to do when we get back home, is work on that primarily. Like he said, we do have some festivals that are happening. We've got the Brown Mountain? There's a festival in the Carolinas that we're doing that's like alien themed, which is really cool.
It's right up our alley.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And that's like a hometown show almost, so like that'll be cool. It's a good turnout.
Yeah, Michigan Metal Fest. We've had some offer. Like, this tour has created a lot of traction, so people have offered us to play in their cities again and different festivals. So we're still trying to wrap our minds around that and figure out which ones we're going to pick and where we're going to go to next. We're already starting to plan for next year for different tours and a lot of things. We haven't had a chance to really go through the emails and messages to coordinate those things, but they're all in the works.
Awesome. Well, I can tell you, from what I saw tonight, sign me up for wherever you guys are going to be playing again, because I want to. I can't wait to see you. So, finally, what is the best way for fans to purchase music and merchandise from Voraath, including the debut album, Volume 1, The Hymn of the Hunters?
We have everything on Bandcamp. We also have our music on Spotify, pretty much all platforms.
Apple Music, all that kind of stuff. YouTube, so pretty much any social media.
We even have available on our own personal website,
which is Voraath, VORAATH.com. And then through our link tree as well, too, has some of our more recent videos and some other avenues for merch and stuff like that, too. And we're always making new merch and stuff like that, too, so keep an eye peeled. Something for everybody out there.
And come check these guys out playing live, because you will not be disappointed. Paul, Chelsea, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, man. It's been a pleasure, man. Hope you had a good time.